Okay, boys and girls, it's reading time. And before I let you go to read for at least 30, so all three of these books have a table of contents. Let's look at them. Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut book, starts with a question. Who is Buzz Aldrin? And the Penguins book begins with a question. What are they? And the book on wolves, what's that sound? So they all have a table of contents and they all start with a question at the top of their table of contents. That's their introduction. Okay, that's going to be a good hook. And then look down near the bottom. I see a glossary here, and a glossary here, and a glossary here. Okay, that's interesting too. So, to the people at National Geographic, it's important to have a table of contents, to begin with a question, to get your reader interested, to begin with a question hook, and to use a glossary at the end. Great. Okay, and we've seen this page just a little bit before. There's our question. Who is Buzz Aldrin? So that matches the first item on the table of contents. It's a hook, and we want to get interested in it. And look what the book does. They give you a little extra piece of information down here. It says, in his own words, shoot for the moon. You might get there. Okay, good advice, Buzz. And here's the opening page of the Penguins book. Okay, there's our question. What are they? And then, like we said before, they open with another hook. What birds cannot fly? Okay, so they're also doing something to get us interested. Okay, they're opening with questions. And in the Wolf book, oh yes, we talked about this. What's that sound? There's a question, and there's our onomatopoeia. Okay, the sound that they make. Okay, so far we can see what these books are doing and that it's pretty similar. So here's the next page in the Buzz Aldrin book. And look what it says in the beginning. Edwin Aldrin Jr. was born on January 20th, 1930. He grew up in Montclair, New Jersey, USA. Okay, so they're telling us where he's from. Okay, that's really good to know. Now look at the Penguins book. This is also the very next page in that book. The question is, where are they? All penguins live between the equator and the South Pole. Well, the Buzz Aldrin book started by telling us where he was from. They started their section telling us where he was from. And the Penguins book is doing the same thing. The next section begins with an explanation of where penguins live. And look at this. Here's the Wolves book. The title is Wolves All Around, and it says wolves are found all over the world. They live in hot places like deserts. They also live in cold places like the North Pole. Interesting. So we've got three books here, and they're by three different authors. Two of them are about animals. One's about an astronaut, but they all have a table of contents. They all have a glossary. They have a hook in the beginning, and they're all following the same pattern. They're introduced to us. What are they? Or who is Buzz Aldrin? Who is he? And then we get a description of where they're from or where they live. Very interesting. And this part's interesting too. Remember in the Tiger book when they wanted to teach us something, a new term, they called it a tiger term? And they're here in the Wolf book, they're calling it a word bite. And over here, they're calling it bird words. So they have some interesting way of giving us the new word. They don't just call it keyword or lingo or technical word. They try to make it fun and interesting. Okay. And if you look at the Penguin book, here all the way at the top, they give us a joke. Let's see. What did the penguin do when he got upset? You ready for the answer? He flippered out. Okay, I get it. So, boys and girls, before we talked about finding two or three or four books about one topic, like a bunch of Tigers books, and see what they have in common. What's the same? What's different? And it's a great thing you can do. Another thing you can do is find books by the same author, like Gail Gibbons, or find books by the same company in the same series, like National Geographic, and see how they do it. Gail Gibbons writes all of her books a certain way. Blair Rainsford, who writes for the Scholastic News, writes her articles a certain way. The National Geographic books are written a certain way, and maybe you can find a style that you like also. Okay? But this will also be good because if you decide to pick up another National Geographic book, you already know probably how they're going to go. You know they're probably going to have a table of contents and a glossary and some funny way of giving us new words, and of course great pictures and lots of hooks and maybe even a few jokes. All right, girls and boys, that's it for this video. Please go to your book or your reading bag or Freckle, whatever it is that you want to be reading today, something nonfiction, and open it up and jump into it for 30 minutes, okay? It's very important. That's it for now. Have a great day. The end.